Recently, I've been seeing people voice their frustrations with the Y2K concept in K-pop. Considering the oversaturation of the market and the frequent release of music by K-pop groups, it's understandable that such sentiments arise. We've all witnessed K-pop groups and artists run new trends into the ground, especially in recent years. However, I wholeheartedly disagree with this. I don't see the same devastating effects of the Y2K concept as we did with Doja Cat's Say So, The Weeknd's Blinding Lights, or Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You. Before we begin with that, let's actually settle on a definition of Y2K. The Y2K aesthetic refers to a distinct visual style that emerged around the turn of the millennium, specifically the late 1990s and early 2000s. The term Y2K stands for year 2000. It originated from the concern surrounding a computer bug related to the way dates were programmed in many computer systems at the time. In early computer systems, years were often represented with only 2 digits. For example, 99 for 1999. As the year 2000 approached, there were concerns that computer systems might interpret the date change as a rollover to the year 1900 instead of 2000, potentially causing errors and malfunctions in various industries that relied on accurate date calculation. The Y2K aesthetic is characterized by bold, vibrant colors, cyber-inspired elements, and a mix of nostalgic and modern motives, focusing on envisioning a futuristic world with a heavy emphasis on technology and digital culture. It often incorporates shiny or metallic textures, sleek and glossy surfaces, and unconventional design choices. Common visual elements include holographic or iridescent materials, chunky or translucent plastic accessories, asymmetrical silhouettes, and graphics featuring retrofuturistic or computer-inspired themes. By 2005, the Y2K aesthetic had vanished, but eventually made a resurgence in the late 2010s and early 2020s. However, with this resurgence, people have often misused the term. I too am guilty of this, but that's just how my playlists or videos reach a broader audience. We need the income to come in. Anyway, lately it's become an umbrella term of sorts that refers to a broad range of styles and sounds associated with the 1990s and early 2000s, most notably mcbling.
Come on down to McDonald's. We got everything you want. We got everything you eat. Fries and hamburger with cheese.
Mcbling refers to a particular aesthetic that was popular during the early 2000s to around 2008. It was characterized by excessive and flashy elements often associated with consumerism and a desire to display wealth. The term mcbling is a combination of Mc from McDonald's, a globally recognized fast food chain, and bling, a slang term used to describe flashy and ostentatious jewelry or accessories. The aesthetic incorporated vibrant colors, bold patterns, and a mix of high-end luxury brands and pop culture references. It often involved flashy clothing, accessories, and even technological gadgets. This aesthetic was influenced by the emerging internet culture, celebrity fashion trends, and the rise of hip-hop, which emphasized opulence and materialism. Word Tarina Sawayama. The end of the mcbling era and the decline of its popularity can be attributed to several factors, including shifts in cultural values and influences, the inevitable fashion cycle, and most significantly, economic downturn. The global financial crisis of 2008 resulted in shifting consumer spending habits and priority. Excessive displays of wealth became less appealing as people became more conscious of financial stability and the need for practicality. It's important to note that Black culture played a significant role in shaping the dynamic aesthetics of these eras. Both styles often embraced the bold and expressive elements rooted in Black culture. But let's move back to the recent usage of the term Y2K. Part of this new interpretation, or confusion really, results from the overlapping of similarities between these aesthetics. As I stated, today the term encompasses the diverse music genres, fashion trends, and cultural influences that emerged during that era. In music, it includes the pop dominance of boy bands and girl groups, the rise of alternative rock and grunge, the infectious beats of hip-hop and R&B, to the emergence of electronic and dance music. With fashion, it includes baggy jeans, crop tops, platform shoes, and bold colors, as well as sleek lines, shiny metallic fabrics, and iridescent textures. Additionally, tracksuits, slogan tees, low-rise jeans, animal prints, and of course, the color pink. In film, it ranges from movies like Mean Girls that satirizes high school cliques, teenage drama, and the harsh realities of adolescent life, to innovative sci-fi films like The Matrix. In television, think anything similar to Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven, Powerpuff Girls, Totally Spies, and Bratz. Because of the overlapping in aesthetics, it's easy to see how and why Y2K serves as a nostalgic reference point for a diverse range of styles and sounds that captured the essence of that era. With that, I see why some people might say the market is oversaturated with this concept. For example, New Jeans brings a contemporary twist to these nostalgic styles and sound, creating a fresh and exciting musical experience that resonates with both fans of the era and new listeners. Their music serves as a bridge between the past and the present, embracing the timeless appeal of the early 2000s and the late 90s while adding their own unique touch. Idol's Queen Card comeback showcases a strong influence from the early 2000s, embracing the larger-than-life aesthetic, taking inspiration from its lyrics that often revolve around themes of wealth, luxury, excess, materialism, conceitedness, beauty, success, and more. With their concept rooted in the virtual world, aespa's sound, visuals, performances, and overall image embrace the vibrant and futuristic elements associated with the Y2K era. The group incorporates neon colors, futuristic fashion choices, flashy visuals, and electronic sounds that pay homage to the digital and cyber-inspired aesthetics of the late 1990s and early 2000s. A variety of sounds and styles inspired by the broad Y2K era are represented in some of the biggest girl groups of the 4th gen. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Many artists from the underground and nugu scenes in K-pop also helped keep the concept alive. So maybe there is some truth to the oversaturation sentiment. Whether or not you make the distinction between Y2K and other aesthetics from the early 2000s, I would argue that we haven't even scratched the surface when it comes to exploring the dynamic styles and sounds of the era in K-pop. The reason I made the distinction earlier was not only to clear up confusion, but because we only have a handful of artists actually sticking to the origins of the concepts and fully immersing themselves in it like they did with the 80s synth pop trend. While some K-pop releases are acknowledged with being inspired by Y2K, they often only incorporate a few elements into their overall concept, and it doesn't always align completely. Most of the time we see fashion or graphic design elements, but notable features and genres that contributed to the visual and sonic landscape of the early 2000s are rarely heard. It's even rarer to find a combination of all three aspects in one cohesive package.